You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/day to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/day for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hey, welcome to Week 2 Boom Bust Fantasy Football Show, brought to you by Fantasy Football Advice Network. We're going to break down some booms and busts at each position for your Week 2 matchup. Now, what is a boom and what is a bust? It's whether they exceed or fall short of their general expectations for the week, based off of most websites' weekly rankings. All right, does it make sense? Clear as mud? All right, let's get rolling for Week 2, Kyle.
Let's do it. I almost busted out in a wild thing there.
No kidding.
Right. With that beautiful bean footage / board.
Yep. Here's the big board. Let's
big
get going.
Board. We're going to start right on top with Javonte Williams. And for me, I know I don't love him for the entire season, but he did well last week, and he has a really good matchup against the Giants this week, and I am keeping that train rolling. Javonte Williams is a boom for me this week. He could score – I think he'll score at least one more touchdown this week. 2, I don't think he'll get 2. But I do think we'll see him get in the end zone again this week. Quite a few carries. I think Dallas can build a lead because Dak and the offense looked pretty good last week. So, yeah, I like Javonte this week. Although we may see Jaden Blue work his way onto the active roster this week because Miles Sanders is horrible.
Miles Sanders did not help himself with that fumble down there on the goal line. I agree with this. I think Javonte Williams isn't necessarily as involved early in this game. Like you said, I think they come out and try to throw the ball a little bit more and get those receivers going, and they build up a little bit of a lead, and that's where Williams then starts getting a little bit more playing time and racking up some yardage there. So I agree. I think this is a plus matchup before then he turns and has to play Chicago, Green Bay, Jets, so on and so forth. So I like this Week 2 matchup for him. If he did that good against the Eagles, granted Jalen Carter was out, I like him against the Giants.
Absolutely. All right. My first bust of the week is going to be Jonathan Taylor. And I got one word for you.
Oof.
Denver.
Yep.
They're playing Denver this week. That defense is the toughest in the league. I think he will struggle. I think, and I know like Daniel Jones looked amazing, and the offense as a whole looked pretty good against Miami. But I do think they'll have to throw just a little bit more. What I don't like about Jonathan Taylor, especially in a tougher matchup like this, is the vulturing of the goal line touchdowns. Daniel Jones, that is, had 2 rushing touchdowns last week that everybody wishes Jonathan Taylor would have got, right?
Absolutely.
So, especially in a tougher matchup like this where it might be harder to even get in scoring position, Jonathan Taylor's a tough play for me this week.
Yeah, they played a horrible defense in Week 1, and JT didn't actually have that much fantasy production because of those vultured touchdowns. Jones is just a strong runner, and he got it. Doesn't help that Jonathan Taylor also got a little banged up in that game. So who knows what kind of production, how much usage he's actually going to get against the Broncos' stout defense. I have a bad gut feeling for Jonathan Taylor in week 2.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to ride.
Agreed.
All right. The next bust that I have is DeAndre Swift. They're playing Detroit this week. Josh Jacobs, if he doesn't get that touchdown last week, has a horrible fantasy day.
Yep.
And he's a much better running back, in my opinion, than DeAndre Swift. So, playing against Detroit, at Detroit, no less, I don't know. I'm not feeling very strongly about DeAndre Swift this week at all.
Yeah, I could maybe see him getting a few dump off passes.
Maybe.
But, 17 carries for 53 yards in week 1 is not great production. No. I agree. I think that Jacobs is a better runner than Swift is. So, maybe call it a gut feeling for me, but I agree with you here. And honestly, that Chicago offense as a whole just didn't look good. Caleb Williams is still not impressing me. He still seems a bit hectic, and that's going to hurt Swift in his production.
Yeah, absolutely. You made a good point. 17 carries for 53 yards. He had 3 receptions for 12 yards.
Ugh.
That's not going to get it done on top of Caleb Williams doing Caleb Williams things.
Yep. Agreed. All right, who's next?
All right. Our next one is going to be a boom, and I'm going with Keenan Allen at Las Vegas.
Again?
Yeah. Bro, this guy led the team in targets last week and looked good. Looked better than he has since he left the Chargers the first time.
I agree.
He looked great. And you could tell Herbert missed him because Herbert was keying on him because he knows he can trust him already.
100%.
And Las Vegas is a team that you can throw the ball on and be successful. And so, I think of course you're starting McConkey no matter what.
Yes.
But, you've got Quentin Johnson, Keenan Allen. Everybody did great last week. Between those two, give me Keenan Allen.
I'm with you. I 100% agree that Keenan Allen is the safer bet there. I think Quentin Johnson could be kind of that flash in the pan. He's going to be inconsistent. He's going to be a really annoying roller coaster type of player. He hasn't done anything in a few years or a couple years being with them, and then all of a sudden he gets that one game. That's not enough to excite me and think that he's going to be able to sustain that productivity. So Keenan Allen, though, has proven it time and time again as long as he was with the Chargers. So I would say trust it as long as he's healthy. I'm playing Keenan Allen. That's kind of been the rule his entire career.
Yeah, it has. Okay, so my next bust is Jacory Croskey-Merritt. I know he's, the hottest thing running this week. 10 carries.
You're about to make some people angry with this one, Kyle.
Dude, listen, last week he looked great, right? He had 10 carries, 82 yards, and a touchdown. Great week for a debut as a starter in the NFL. This week he's playing Green Bay. Go back and look at Detroit's rushing stats from last week against Green Bay. Oof. There was volume. But if you look at Gibbs, right, had an elite fantasy day, but it was all in receiving. Okay? Yeah, you can throw the ball to running backs and dump off, against Green Bay. That's not Jacory Croskey-Merritt's job. That's Austin Eckler's job. So I don't think we see Merritt have success on early downs running the ball on the ground against Green Bay.
Yeah, I agree. Gibbs had 9 attempts for 19 yards. Montgomery had 11 attempts for 25 yards. Guys, that's not good, especially for Lightning and Thunder over there. That is
the best running game in the league. That
100%.
Horrible stat line.
Yeah, that's bad. So to come out here and think that JCM is going to do better all of a sudden, disagree. So, yeah, I'm with you on this. I think that people are going to be sadly disappointed with his production this week because his receiving last week, 1 target incomplete. So, not his game.
No, not at all.
All right, who you got?
All right, gonna give you a boom. I'm gonna hit you with Stefon Diggs. That is not a guy I thought coming into the season that I would see on a boom list this early. But, he had a pretty good week last week.
Not bad.
6 receptions, 57 yards. It's almost 14 fantasy points against Vegas. It's another reason I love Keenan Allen against Vegas.
Exactly, yep. Those geriatrics going out there and getting them fantasy points.
Exactly. But who does Stefon Diggs play against this week? Miami. Did you see what Indy just did to Miami? All right. If Daniel Jones can do that against Miami, I have every faith that Drake May can do the same.
100%.
And so can Stefon Diggs. So I love this matchup for them. I'm going to play every quarterback and receiver that plays against Miami this year until they prove that they have a defense on that team.
I don't even know what I could add to that. That Miami defense was so atrocious. It was so bad. And Diggs still has it. So
yeah,
I'm rolling with Diggs there. I've got a lot of stock in Diggs across multiple leagues. I still believe in him, and I'm rolling him out in all my lineups this week.
Absolutely.
All right.
I'm going to give you my last boom, and it's Trey Benson.
Interesting.
Which is some intrigue for that last one. But so Trey Benson came out with a role in this offense. I think similar to what we've talked about in the past with R.J. Harvey and J.K. Dobbins. I think you see a very similar kind of changing of the guard over the course of the season with Trey Benson and James Conner. I think James Conner ends up getting hurt. I think he starts wearing down. Benson plays better and better. Last week, he had 8 carries for 69 yards. That's
not bad.
Really good. That's really good efficiency on a per carry basis. So I like Trey Benson this week. It's early in the season. We haven't seen that shift. But I love him this week against one of the worst defenses in the league, Carolina.
Yeah, he definitely rushed better than James Conner. Now, Conner was still getting the receptions, but he didn't do anything with him. He had 4 receptions for 5 yards. It was pathetic. So he didn't have good production, even though he out-touched Benson. So if Benson keeps up that kind of production, he'll take over pretty quick. He had 1 reception and still had more yards with that 1 reception than Conner had with his 4 receptions. So I think you're kind of right. I think the changing the guard, and then it's just a matter of time before Conner gets hurt. That's every season, right?
He stayed basically healthy last year for the first time ever. The chances of that happening 2 years in a row are nil.
Yeah, even a blind squirrel finds a nut now and then,
Right, yeah, so.
All right, give us this intriguing last, looking like it's going to be a bust.
Yeah, Ricky Pearsall is my last bust, and I know people are going to be not liking this pick and wondering, how could you possibly have him on your bust list after he crushed it last week? 4 receptions for 108 yards. That's great. Almost 17-point fantasy day for you. Here's the deal. This has nothing to do with Pearsall. It really doesn't even have that much to do with the opponent. They're playing New Orleans. Yeah, Atlanta didn't go – or no, who played New Orleans? It wasn't Atlanta. Arizona, sorry. Arizona didn't exactly go crazy against New Orleans in the air last week, which to me was shocking. I thought they would do better. It has everything to do with Brock Purdy.
Yep.
And even with Kittle hurt and out, and Jawan Jennings banged up, Mac Jones is most likely going to be playing quarterback this weekend. No bueno. I don't like it. I don't like it. That's really all I have to say about it. I can't start him this week with Mac Jones at QB.
No, the only person you're starting in that offense is CMC.
And they're going to run.
Obvious boom, right? Obvious boom. So, being down Purdy, being out Kittle, they're going to be out. It's just not going to look pretty for Pearsall. I don't want anything to do with it. And so I'm with you here. That offense is going to be a mess. And let's just hope that CMC doesn't get hurt as a result of it. But yeah,
they're going to run the ball a whole lot with CMC, and they're probably not even going to be on offense that often. They're going to spend a lot of time on defense this week because they're not going to be able to move
punting.
Unless CMC's breaking off chunk runs, they're not going to see the offensive side of the ball that often.
I'm thinking that whole matchup's going to be a little boring, honestly. New Orleans versus 49ers, just going to be a little boring because neither offense is going to be very entertaining.
Mac Jones versus Spencer Rattler.
All right. Baby.
That's a marquee matchup if I ever heard one.
Gosh, it sounds horrible. Spare me. I'll be passing on that one. All right. That's going to do it for our booms and busts this week. Good luck in your week 2 matchups.
Good luck, everybody.